video is sponsored by hiding your mess. What is up, guys? Welcome back. As you may know about me, I own a lot of facial beauty devices. I have spent a lot of money in the past and talked about them kind of one here, one there, but I figured I would consolidate my recommendations as far as the beauty devices that I have invested in and invested my time in over the years and kind of stack rank them, back rank them, I guess you would say. I'm going to essentially start with one that I would not recommend and move through to the one that I absolutely would recommend. They're all for different purposes, though. It's not like I'm only trying to solve one problem. And I will explain what each one is designed to do, my results with them, and if you're like, you're wearing a whole lot of makeup, Khaki, how in the world are you gonna show us anything? I already filmed inserts of me barefaced in my bathroom actually using each device so that you guys could see a demo of it, like what it's like to actually interact with them and stuff, because I feel like a lot of times we see them, they're shiny and new, they have lights on them, they purport a whole bunch of technological claims, and then when we get them in our hands, we're like, yep, this is another thing that's gonna just live in a drawer. And they are not inexpensive in most cases. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And if you do like it, give it a thumbs up at any point in the video. Leave me a comment down below your experience with any of your facial devices. And if you're new here, my name is Khaki. I review beauty. I really tried to make the name of the channel as helpful as possible, and this is just one of those videos where I am deep diving on one particular category of beauty. So I hope this is useful for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump in. As my collection currently exists, I have 5 big main facial devices that I use. I have had others in the past that I have invested in and gotten rid of. The main one I think was the PMD, the at-home microdermabrasion machine. It was just something that I felt was better left to a professional in my life. I felt like it kind of did more harm than good for me. My esthetician does microdermabrasion right before she does a chemical peel or something like that. But other than that, I mostly stick to AHAs and, other chemical exfoliants to maintain cell turnover. Occasionally I'll use like an enzyme wash or something, but also I should go ahead and just say I anti-hauled and will continue to anti-haul the droplet. That thing that you have to buy individual cartridges for to make it function. As far as my at-home facial devices collection goes, I really stay away from anything that has like a disposable component. Anything that I have to have like a one-use system around that's going to produce waste. I think that kind of flies in the face of the whole idea of an at-home device to me. I want something that functions with like light or electricity or something like that, something that is like renewable in my life, not something where I have to stay on like a subscription system the way that you do with the droplet. So let's start with my number 5, and if you're playing along at home, that means this is my least recommended one. And this is the only one out of all of them that was sent to me, and it was sent to me fairly recently. This is the Foreo Luna, or Foreo. It's a Swedish company. I'm just gonna say Foreo. This is the Luna, and it is, I'll tell you what it actually describes itself as. So this is the Foreo Luna 3 for sensitive skin. It's $199 at full retail. Best for dry skin, good for acne blemishes. This is off of Sephora. It says what it is: a tool that lifts away dirt and oil with a 1-minute cleansing routine and a targeted firming facial massage that leaves skin looking smoother and more youthful. Brush heads are tailor-made for each skin type and can be further personalized in the Foreo app by selecting pulsation intensity controls and targeted firming massage routines. No additional brush heads are needed. One USB charge provides up to 650 uses. So its claims are more radiant looking skin, refreshed skin, and better feeling skin. All of those are just kind of your opinion, and often I feel like that after I have cleaned my face with a cleanser that I like. So the way that you use this, yes, there is an app. You don't have to use the app. I found the app to be a little bit fussy. I did download it, I did use it and everything, but sitting there trying to juggle everything that's happening with this in your routine and an app with wet hands, it's just not ideal. So the whole idea here is you're supposed to take your makeup off first and then put cleanser on your face and water so that this can then use the emulsified face cleanser to break loose anything on one side and then use the other side as like a gentle face massager. I will say, The massager is not the worst thing in the world, especially as I have been suffering with a sinus infection as of late. I just found out from a massage therapist that your lymph nodes are actually like very, very close to the surface of your skin. So the gentleness of this is actually like ideal for that kind of thing, for sinus drainage and stuff like that. But like, you can also do that with your fingers. I found this to be basically an electric toothbrush for your face, because you turn it on and it has 15-second pulses basically. So it's a 1-minute wash your face routine that pulses every 15 minutes, and it's supposed to be kind of in quadrants on your face, the same way that it is with an electric toothbrush. This is a very simple device, right? Most of the time you'd be like, it vibrates, it washes my face. The reason that I even know this stuff is because they sent it to me and I wanted to really understand the product before I decided like, this is sort of solving a problem that doesn't exist in my life. And that actually is kind of where I landed. I just don't, I can wash my own face with my own hands for 1 minute. I do it every single day. And after I have done a initial, like a cleansing balm, rinsed that off, and then added cleanser to my face and started to emulsify it, to then have to go dry my hands off. Well, you don't have to, but I prefer to, otherwise water's dripping down my elbows. And then turn this thing on or use an app. Then, you know, you're kind of doing this number and washing your face with it, and then you gotta wash it when you're done and everything. I just feel like it is hilariously unnecessary. Like, I don't really understand why you would need this unless you have a lot of trouble getting like makeup out of your hairline, maybe something like that. My friend Sam, I posted that I had received this and I thanked the company on my Instagram. My friend Sam replied to me. She's not one to mince words, and she said, yeah, I have one of those. I use it to get old nail polish out of my cuticles. I was like, oh. So the whole thing, I feel like, is that this is not really particularly a deep cleansing device. I really thought that it was going to do more. It was gonna be more stimulating, more something. And I don't think the science would really like prove that out. I don't think that there's a whole lot of science to something like really, really like shaking the crap out of your face. That probably isn't a good idea. But I just found it to be kind of like, not a lot of air there. And they do have other devices for Foreo. Like, I'm going to pronounce it this way, and then I have no idea how to pronounce it. They do have other devices, but I believe that at least one of them has one-use sheets that go with it and things like that. And so this is the one that they sent me. This is the one that I tried, and I just don't really recommend it, especially for 200 smackers. Come on. No, you don't need this. Okay, next, number 4 is the Radiance high frequency facial device. You can buy all sorts of different brands of this. They're all over Amazon, and they've gone up in price since I got mine. I have had this thing for years, to the point where I thought I lost it. Like, I didn't know if I even still had it, and then I like stumbled on it again, and I was like, huh. So that should give you some clues as to like how I feel about it. The fact that I didn't even remember that I had it. And when I bought this thing, it was like $30 or $35. I think you can pay way more than that for one of these on Amazon now. $90, $100, $130. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. If you do want one of these, you can get one for like 35 bucks. It's really not a big deal. And I have seen these used at like estheticians' offices and things like that. And I believe that the science is there. It's just whether or not that particular science appeals to you. So this is what it looks like. It has a bunch of these attachments, and when you plug it in, you'll see in the demonstration this like, you know, Tesla bulb kind of thing lights up in here, and it'll zzz, 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 and you can turn it up really, really high, or you can just use it on a really low level. And they've got all these different kind of, you know, shapes for where you would want to apply said stimulation. You can definitely feel it. It has, you know, on the low frequency, it's just kind of like a very chill little prickly feeling. And if you turn it all the way up, which by the way, on this one, there are no settings. You're just kind of winging it. It's sort of like when you're in a spin class, and they're, you know, I don't know about the Peloton, I think it has actual settings, but like most spin bikes, they're just like, turn up the resistance, and you're like, how much? A quarter turn? I don't know. So yeah, you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants on this particular model. You can see this is the one that I've used the most, just because it has the most like wear on this, and it's mainly like for targeted zit treatment. And there has been only one time in my entire owning of this product that it has changed my life. If you've been on my channel since, oh gosh, 2018 or something, I think that I bought this in 2017 or 2018, something like that. I had a sore on my nose out here for a really, really long time, and I just could not figure out what was going on. It hurt so bad, it hurt through and through, guys, all the way through the nostril, and it turned out that it was actually a nostril hair that had decided to go through the other side. I would never have known. Who knows, it might still have been there if I had not zapped the living daylights out of it with this thing. I was just at my wit's end. I turned it not all the way up. I don't think I've ever used it turned all the way up. I don't want to bust a capillary or something. I don't know the responsible way to use this, especially because it doesn't have real settings. So maybe if you pay more for it, you get one that has actual settings. Mine's kind of the Wild West, but I turned it up to the point where I could really feel it, and I zapped the snot out of that thing, so to speak, for 2 or 3 days in a row, several times a day. It was one of those things that hurt so much just living my everyday life that it occupied my thoughts, and I was like, I gotta do something about this. You know how you need to feel like something's happening? It's like when you use a scrub on your face or something. It might not be the best thing for your skin, but it feels like it is because you're scrubbing. That's how this is. You're like, well, it's certainly doing something because it's zapping in a very strange way that nothing else has ever done. And that thing came to a head within 2 days. And I think I told everyone I knew when it finally happened. Anyone who would engage in conversation with me, I was like, you will never guess what just happened to me. It was like a medical marvel. And I didn't take a picture of it. I just showed it to my husband because I was not in the business of just sharing every moment of my life at that time. And what didn't even really occur to me, I was just like, look, there's a back of a hair poking out of my nose. And I just, pulled it out and it was over. But this did that. So I'm gonna read the claims on Amazon. I do think that this thing is kind of whatever you want it to be. I'm sure there's some science to it, but I was convinced by another YouTuber to buy it, and it was a very inexpensive thing at the time. It says natural system. This is for the NuWay high frequency one. They're all the same, I think. The device with glass electrode tube, which is mainly used for facial and head care. It serves the regeneration of skin collagen to achieve the purpose of tightening and reducing fat. I don't know why you'd want to reduce fat on your face. It improves blood and lymph circulation, so there's that, apparently. Oh, it says, also advances nutrient absorption and inhibits the growth of harmful substances. We're already in very, very vague, if you want to believe kind of territory. It improves blood and lymph circulation, advances skin collagen and cell regeneration, it removes scars, improves and reduces age spots, neck wrinkles and sagging skin, also reduces skin aging issue. That pesky skin aging issue. For its portable design, you can use high frequency to maintain your skin at home. It's suitable for and more economical than going to the beauty salon. It effectively improves your skin issue and saves your time. So it comes with a little comb because it's supposed to be able to stimulate hair growth, things like that. This is a little bit of a gimmick, but it does do something. It's not going to make you not need Botox. It's not going to make you not need retinol. It's not going to make you not need lip fillers, but it might bring a terrifying under the skin cystic zit to a head for you. That is the one thing that I have seen it do, and that is the one thing that I continue to use it for. I use that one nozzle, that one little head, so that I can just zap the living daylights out of a pimple and then put a hydrocolloid patch on it or something, and I feel like it clears it faster. I am 35 years old and I still suffer with acne. Today is the first day of my period. I'm having a really fun time with my zits today. They all just blew up overnight. So definitely it will kind of address things that have yet to come to the surface and help them come to the surface. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I have never caused myself any particular harm with it to just kind of zap the top of a zit and try and get it to come to a head. Zap it, give it 24 hours kind of thing. It might encourage it. That's about all I can really corroborate in terms of those claims. I think that they're a little high-flown and unchecked. But yeah, that's number 4, guys, the high-frequency facial device. Okay, continuing on to number 3. I bet you guys thought this was gonna be number 1 because it's the most expensive one and everybody can't shut up about it. This is the Dennis Gross Oh, let's find the name of this gosh darn thing, shall we? Okay, so this bad boy is $435. I paid full price for it. It is the Dr. Dennis Gross Skincare DRX Spectra Light Face Wear Pro. It is good for anti-aging, good for acne and blemishes, good for loss of firmness, and good for redness. What it is, an FDA cleared 3-minute LED device for your entire face that targets the appearance of wrinkles and blemishes. What else you need to know? When it comes to safety and efficacy for LED lights, the most important differentiating factor is design. The patented design of Dr. Dennis Gross FDA cleared Spectra Light Face Wear Pro Mask uniquely lies directly on top of the skin, that's the inside of it obviously, and conforms to all the contours of the face to treat years in minutes with zero downtime. A combination of 100 lights in red mode and 62 lights in blue mode work together to smooth the appearance of wrinkles, diminish visible discoloration, and diminish the look of blemishes for the appearance of a more beautiful, youthful complexion. Red lights support natural collagen production. Blue lights address acne, bacteria. Wow, that's a weird typo. I don't even know what they meant. Acne's bacteria to reduce redness, calm, and guard against future breakouts. Optimal results occur after a 10-week course of treatment. And I don't know if they mean like 10 weeks of using it every single day for 3 minutes or every single day for 30 minutes, because you can just cycle this thing basically. You're supposed to let it rest in between, but you can cycle it as many times as you want because it's not really like hurting your skin in any way. And that's at least my understanding. I'm not totally sure. Like there's no like sensation other than it just obviously there's light and something touching your face. It's fairly straightforward in the sense of how you use it. You just make sure that you clean it in between. I use like alcohol swabs, and it has red, purple, and then combo. So red, blue, and amber as they call it. And I have been very disciplined about using this. I don't have a lot of concerns around anti-aging, not yet anyway. And the story behind this is actually that I went and bought the Lightstim for wrinkles, and then some people commented and said, no, go ahead and get the Dennis Gross mask instead. And so I did. I went and I took it back without opening it or anything, and I got this instead. Mainly because it's hands-free and has more options. And you know, the Lightstim you have to, we'll get to that. The Lightstim you do have to kind of, you know, hold it obviously. And I was really expecting this to replace my Lightstim for acne because it has, you know, the same kind of claims as far as acne is concerned. And so I was just a little bit disappointed by the expectation versus reality. This purports itself, if you really like dedicate yourself to including it in your routine, you should see a difference pretty quickly. You know, some difference, not optimal results, but you should see improvement. I just don't really see that much. Maybe it is more subtle because it is more focused on the anti-aging. I'm not totally sure. Like it doesn't have like specific, I mean, I guess it does have specific acne claims, but this seems to be more of like a anti-aging overall complexion improving kind of idea for like maintaining youth and things like that. And I'm not gonna not use it because I bought it, but for the price, for $435, I don't feel like the results are that great, especially considering that like the Dr. Dennis Gross skincare products, oh my gosh, they're potent as heck. They're great. And so I want to believe, but I just cannot necessarily cite a really strong before and after with this product. And for $435, I think I should be able to. You know, I should have my mind blown. That's really, really expensive. Out of my 5 facial devices, this is definitely like middle of the road. I just don't think it's like that amazing thing that everybody cracks it up to be. All right, next, number 2. This is the NuFace Mini. This is $209, which it's $10 more than this. And we're gonna get into why that's like quite silly to me, considering that is an electric toothbrush for your face. This is a very interesting little device that took me a minute to kind of get into, because you do have to have something to put on your face in order to like let it slide and stuff like that. So you can use regular aloe. There are a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of research online and stuff like that. Lisa Eldridge has a very inexpensive one, I want to say, that you can use with this, but it also has its own gel primer kind of thing and other skincare products that you can use underneath it for the slip of it all. I just happened to buy one on discount, and that's the one that I've been using. But $209 for this guy. They do have a larger one as well that has like the you know, like attachments and stuff, but this was the, you know, I just wanted to try it, and I've had this for years. And it was at a point in my life where $200 for a facial device was an astounding amount of money. And I do understand that that is still an astounding amount of money for a lot of people. And I saved up my Amazon points and traded them in for a Sephora card and bought this on Sephora. So anyway, what it is, a petite microcurrent facial toning device that helps visibly improve skin's contour, tone, and fine lines and wrinkles. Developed with the same microcurrent technology as the NuFace Trinity, which is the big one, the Mini is an FDA cleared device that gently stimulates the larger surface of the areas of their face and neck to help improve the appearance of facial contour, tone, fine lines, and wrinkles. Besides its cute, compact figure, this mini facial toner's greatest strength lies in its straightforward, simple design that allows for an effortless 5-minute beauty routine anytime, anywhere. So, what has my experience been with this? I will say, I bought this because I wanted to try it before I got Botox. Now that I know what it kind of does, I think that they kind of do the opposite, right? Botox is relaxing muscles. This is technically strengthening muscles. So that's what the whole idea here is that there is like a microcurrent kind of pulse that's going on here, and you can feel it when it's on your face. I'll actually zoom in on one of the demonstrations where you can see my lip twitch, and it's not uncomfortable at all. It's just noticeable. You know, there's something happening. And what it's doing is it's just kind of on a very, very small level, it's actually like exercising your skin and strengthening the muscles of your face, which can be really great for anybody, you know, who is starting to notice things loosening. You kind of just want to tighten them up a little bit, but that's very, very different from, to me at least, something like your 11s or wrinkles on your forehead or something like that, where you want to relax that muscle. You want that muscle to work less. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a professional in that sense in any way, but to me those two things seem to be very different. So I just want to dispel that expectation, because that was for me what made me initially not use it as much, was that I didn't really see like results on my forehead, and I was like, well, and not really like taking into consideration like what it does. And I do get Botox now. So it's supposed to address fine lines and wrinkles, loss of firmness and elasticity, and puffiness. And for me, I also thought that like this was going to be something, this is actually a good thing. My misconception of it initially was that it was going to need to be something I integrated into my routine like twice a day for 10 weeks, something like Dennis Gross mask, in order to see any results at all. It's actually acutely effective. Kind of like when you do a bunch of push-ups or something and your arms look toned for like that day. That's how this works. And so you can use this as part of your routine in the morning. And yes, you're going to reap long-term benefits like you would from working out any muscle, but also it makes things look more lifted right now. It can actually just like depuff your face first thing in the morning. Like this is actually a really nice, like cool metal surface on your skin. It slips really nicely with that primer. And so it's almost like gua shaing, except I think with gua sha you have to do like, it's like really hard, it's like raking. This is a very, very like light touch sort of thing. And you kind of just follow the contours of your bone structure, right? And you kind of, you know, take everything and sort of like go upwards. It's not a massage at all. You just go upwards and you'll start to just notice, like I even put, I only did one side of my face and I did it for the video. And so in that video, or at least I could notice that like one side looks slightly more lifted. Imagine that over time kind of thing. And there are definitely days where I wake up like I've had a lot of salt, or I drank too much, or I didn't get enough sleep or something. And I will use this and it will make a noticeable difference that day in just the condition of my face and my skin and, you know, my water retention and everything like that. And so I have actually like changed my mind on this. I would have told you a couple of years ago, like, don't waste your money, but I've come around to it because I had the wrong expectations of it initially. I expected it to be a replacement for Botox when it does pretty much the opposite of Botox. And I thought that it was only going to work if it was something that I could commit to every single day long term. And while you can get long-term results from it, you can also get very, very fast results from it, just in terms of like draining some of like the water retention and, you know, puffiness and things like that in your face. So I really, really like it, especially for my neck. I feel like it's made a big difference. I notice a kind of more lifted appearance right after I use it, and it motivates me to keep using it, especially when we're talking about something that again, just vibrates and you use it to wash your face, versus something that's actually like exercising little micro muscles on your face and giving you actual results. Like, this is so much more worth your money than a Foreo. Like, I think that this thing is great and I use it all the time. Okay, and number one, drum roll please, it is this. And you know, it's not that I've never talked about this before. I talk about it for a long time. I talked about it in just about every single Sephora recommendations video until I realized like you can get a discount on it any time of year. You know what I mean? They sell it on so many websites, you can pretty much find a discount on it somewhere. So this is a Lightstim for acne. I'm gonna pull the little cord out of here. I did a demonstration of it, so I don't need to like, you know, shine this in your face right now. But I was comparing the Dr. Dennis Gross mask to this, and for all the claims of acne prevention, acne healing, all of that, this is a much more effective means of delivering that light therapy. So this is $169. Wow, it's less expensive than the Foreo by a bit. It's $169 on Sephora. It is good for all skin types. An FDA-cleared device combining Lightstim multi-wave LED light and light with blue and red wavelengths of therapeutic light energy to treat and control mild to moderate acne. I cannot speak to how this would treat, you know, a full face of cystic acne. That would be something where you might go see a doctor and get prescribed, you know, tretinoin or something like that. I cannot speak to its results there, and it doesn't make any claims to that respect. I have always dealt with just pesky, obnoxious acne, and I have a picking problem. And so this gives me kind of an action that I can do instead of picking, which is also incredibly helpful for me. Energy to treat and control mild to moderate acne, restoring your skin's healthy appearance, solutions for acne, blemishes, and redness. And it does, man. It really like anti-inflames your skin. If you want to know more, Lightstim multi-wave patented technology simultaneously emits multiple wavelengths, colors of light. These wavelengths of light work together to give your skin the nourishment it needs for a more radiant and youthful appearance. This easy-to-use device calms existing blemishes and prevents new ones from forming, combats all acne-causing bacteria, and soothes redness and inflammation. It has 36 LED lights. You're not supposed to shine this directly in your eyes. In numerous clinical studies, blue LED light therapy has been proven to be an effective treatment for acne with no negative side effects. This product features a built-in 3-minute treatment timer and has been used and recommended by dermatologists and estheticians for over a decade. This works. This thing really works. Yeah, sure. It's a little bit annoying to have to like hold it on a spot for however long. And it does beep every 3 minutes and it turns off at 30 minutes, and then you can just turn it back on and keep it going. But like, much like the Dennis Gross mask, you can cycle it. And I think this is the case for the Dennis Gross mask. I have been able to cycle this indefinitely. You can't hurt yourself with it. You're not gonna burn yourself or anything like that. And what it's really doing is killing the inflammation and also killing the bacteria underneath the skin. And so like, if I have something really horrifying on my face and I'm just like sitting there editing or something, or just watching something, you just hold this on there and it will actually effectively break down the bacteria and help clear the acne spots. It's a miraculous thing, and I have seen great results from it. Now, I do know that like Kiki bought this when, again, on the cystic acne thing, Kiki bought this I think when she had cystic acne, and I don't think that it made that big of a difference for her. This is more for like an acute breakout or monthly breakouts where you know you're gonna have a bunch of crap coming up because of hormones, X, Y, and Z. Any situation like that where you know the nature of your pimples is to just kind of like stick around for a while and just like be obnoxious, but like you understand that like the life cycle of it isn't something that needs to be treated by like antibiotics or something. This can be an incredible, it just accelerates the healing process, and I use it in conjunction with other things as well. You know, hydrocolloid patches, using like the red algae mask from Osea, things like that, stuff that I just known to do work for my skin without hurting it. One of the biggest things that we do is kind of over fry our skin, especially when we're dealing with blemishes. Again, it's that kind of like action fallacy where we're like, oh, I need to take action action here, and that's going to solve this, and that's like, you know, the most extreme action is like extracting it. And that was something that I had to work my way out of because I was a really, really bad picker. And there is a video, one of the videos that's done the best on my channel ever is like how I stopped picking my face. And I'm gonna do one on how I healed my back knee soon because it's gone. Oh, I have such good before and afters. I'm so excited. But the whole thing being, a lot of times what your skin needs is treatment and then like 3 times more rest. Like treat it and then let it rest, let it rejuvenate, let it like get its moisture barrier back and things like that. Especially as we age, our skin is even slower to kind of refill its reserves of like moisture and collagen, whatever, I'm not really sure. But that's just something that I've observed in my own skin, is that most of the time something non-invasive or minimally invasive is going to be a lot better than like a true skin breaking disturbance. Like I'll do anything to not have to break the skin unless I'm having a really bad day. Like none of us is perfect. This is so nice because it really can't do any damage. And it is actually a really great like physical obstruction, right? You know, you got this big old thing that's on there. You don't have to look at it. You know you're doing something about it and it works. And it is, other than the high frequency device, the least expensive out of everything that I talked about today. And it's actually the most effective and the one that I use the most. It's so good. So good. I love it so much. Especially when I had those like really deep ones. Oh my gosh, on my hairline, they hurt so much. I would just sit there with it like pinned to my pillow and just like read, you know? Yeah. All of that said, guys, I hope that this kind of illuminates the fact that these things are almost entirely sold to us by people like me, right? In like Instagram ads or on videos or things like that, where it's kind of purported to almost be sort of a lifestyle achievement, having these at-home luxury face devices with all of this woo-woo technology of like, I'm going to treat it with lights and I'm going to treat it with electricity and like microcurrents and stuff like that. And sometimes the lifestyle factor of it supplants the efficacy of it, and we end up with things that we don't need, don't use, and maybe that don't really work. And you know, we're out $200+ for it in some cases. Really evaluate whether this is something that fits in your routine, that you're actually going to make use of. Like think about yourself using it. Think of like looking at yourself in the mirror and using it, where it's going to fit in your day-to-day, because the worst thing that we can do is go and spend a whole bunch of money on things like this that just like sit in a drawer. And I, with the exception of the Lightstim, which I think I stumbled on because of a comment from somebody, like a recommendation from one of you guys, all the rest of these have been either like sent to me by a company or recommended to me by another influencer. And I have to say, like, I'm less impressed across the board. With the exception of the NuFace, I am less impressed across the board than I expected to be. And even with the NuFace, my expectations were very different from the positive results that I did end up with. Honestly, if I had like a true recommendation as it pertains to a lot of this stuff, going to an esthetician, supporting your local professional is going to do wonders for the heavy lifting results that you're expecting from a lot of these things, in comparison to spending your money on half a dozen little devices that you might do more harm than good with, especially if they are things that are slightly invasive, like a PMD or something like that. Chemical peel, Botox, fillers, hydrofacials, laser treatments, microneedling, all of these things are better done by professionals. Like when we're talking about something like the Lightstim or even the NuFace, we're talking about something that is really like a superficial kind of change, right? If you're going to get into anything having to do with resurfacing, seek professional help, not just because it's dangerous to do it at home in a lot of cases, but also because for your money, which is what I think about as I'm falling asleep at night, is my responsibility to the people who take my advice on how to spend their money in a lot of ways. For your money, it's going to be a lot more effective to have a professional use the high quality, high grade products and devices on you in an observed environment where you have a mutual like trust in that person than you trying to do it at home. And if they recommend you do something at home to maintain those results, that's totally fine. But like, the internet is a completely unchecked space in most cases. FDA cleared doesn't even really mean that much, and that's why I am only at liberty to recommend based on my own experience and whether or not they kind of did what they claimed to do, but don't take my word as medical advice at all. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I hope that all of my toil of putting things on my face has served to, I don't know, to inform your buying decisions in the future. Maybe take something out of your shopping cart and save you a little bit of money. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, do give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. The next one. Bye, guys.